I'm Natasha Busst and this is Nightline. The top stories. Latest audit report, 40 federal subsidiary companies suffer over 2.66 billion ringgit in losses. And Malaysia to provide education and healthcare aid to Baitul Maqdis. Forty subsidiary companies from 5 federal agencies have suffered losses exceeding 2.66 billion ringgit in 2023. According to the Auditor General's latest report, 21 of the companies have recorded losses for 3 consecutive years since 2021. The first report of the year, which was tabled in Parliament on Monday, examines the financial statements of federal agencies for 2023. The 5 subsidiaries that recorded the highest losses, both domestically and internationally, included those owned by the Employees Provident Fund, EPF, the Armed Forces Fund Board, LTAT, Lembaga Tabung Haji, LTH, the Federal Land Development Authority, FELDA, and the Retirement Fund Incorporated, KWAP. 21 subsidiaries under EPF recorded losses amounting to 941 million ringgit, followed by those under LTAT, which reported losses of 720 million ringgit. Meanwhile, the Pilgrims Fund Board recorded losses of 690 million ringgit, while FELDA's losses stood at 165 million ringgit, while KWAP suffered 138 million ringgit in losses. The report also revealed that 5 out of 142 federal agencies recorded liabilities exceeding their asset value. Among those agencies were Perbadanan Prima Malaysia, Prima, and the Solid Waste Management and Public Cleansing Corporation, SW Corp. Prima had a net liability of 342.46 million ringgit due to loan funds that must be settled by 2027 and could not be covered by existing assets. As for SW Corp, its net liability amounted to 140.15 million ringgit, primarily due to high concessionaire company payables and accumulated expenses. Federal agencies have been given 10 recommendations to improve and prevent further leakages. Auditor General Datuk Wan Suraya Wan Muhammad Radzi has called for a review of the direction and business plans of the subsidiary companies. According to Wan Suraya, serious attention should be given to companies experiencing losses and failing to generate reasonable returns, including shutting down subsidiaries that have been inactive or dormant for more than 5 years. Proactive steps must also be taken to strengthen internal agency controls and improve financial systems, aiming to reduce liabilities and dependence on the government. The National Higher Education Fund Corporation, PTPTN, is also urged to resume enforcement measures to improve loan repayment collection. The report further proposed the implementation of actions approved by the Cabinet on July 5, 2024, such as issuing reminder letters, sending demand notices, filing lawsuits, and obtaining judgments. Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim has launched a special Wakaf fund to support Al-Quds University, schools and hospitals in Baitul Maqdis, Palestine. The Prime Minister emphasized the need for collaboration with local universities to strengthen these efforts, calling for public participation in upholding the values of compassion and shared responsibility in alleviating the hardships faced by Palestinians in Gaza and Baitul Maqdis.
Masih ada sebuah universiti namanya Jamiah Al-Quds di Baitul Maqdis, tetapi bergantung kepada bantuan umat. Kita akan luncurkan pada malam ini dan pihak kerajaan insya-Allah akan terus memberikan ruang dan bantuan supaya universiti itu tertegak. Saya telah minta mereka bincang juga dengan Menteri Pendidikan Tinggi dan universiti-universiti tempatan untuk adakan jalinan hubungan memperkukuh kegiatan universiti tersebut.
Anwar said this during his speech at the Majlis Ilmu Madani at Masjid Putra, attended by the Imam of Al-Aqsa Mosque, Sheikh Dr. Ekrimah Said Sabri. He also highlighted Sheikh Dr. Ekrima's appeal to Malaysians to assist in the development of Baitul Maqdis, particularly in the environment of mosques and madrasas around the area. Earlier, the Prime Minister, along with over 1,000 congregants, performed Maghrib and Isha prayers led by Sheikh Dr. Ekrima. Also present were Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Datuk Muhammad Naim Mokhtar, and Inspector General of Police, Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein. Meanwhile, Anwar is set to depart for Vietnam on Tuesday to begin a 2-day working visit to the country. This will be his second visit to Vietnam at the invitation of his Vietnamese counterpart, Pham Minh Chinh, to attend the second ASEAN Future Forum, where he will also deliver a keynote address. As Malaysia assumes the ASEAN chairmanship, this prestigious platform will serve as a key avenue to shape the region's direction and future. Malaysian Ambassador to Vietnam, Datuk Tan Yang Thai, emphasized the significance of the Prime Minister's presence in ensuring Malaysia's voice is heard in efforts to strengthen the regional bloc.
Sebagai pengerusi ASEAN, adalah penting untuk Malaysia mempromosi dan mempertahankan objektif dan prioriti Malaysia sebagai pengerusi dan agar pendirian dan pendapat Malaysia diketengahkan supaya dapat diambil kira dalam perbincangan berkaitan masa depan ASEAN.
Themed Building a United, Inclusive and Resilient ASEAN Amidst Global Transformations, the forum will address geopolitical challenges, economic resilience, and emerging technologies that could reshape regional security. Beyond the forum, the Prime Minister is also scheduled to hold discussions with Vietnam's top leaders to strengthen bilateral ties across various sectors, including politics, economy, and defense. Additionally, Anwar is set to hold meetings with several ASEAN leaders to discuss regional issues. Malaysia and Vietnam established diplomatic ties in 1973 and marked 50 years of bilateral relations in 2023. On another matter, Anwar has called for continued commitment to the welfare of the people as a priority that should be managed properly. The Prime Minister, in a social media post on Monday, said he received a courtesy call from Kelantan Menteri Besar Datuk Muhammad Nasruddin Daud in Putrajaya. Anwar said during the meeting, he and Muhammad Nasruddin discussed efforts to improve cooperation between the federal and state governments for the well-being and welfare of the people. Among the matters discussed were the progress of flood mitigation projects, border development, as well as infrastructure projects such as road alignment and water management. Palm oil millers should take advantage of artificial intelligence (AI) to save costs and reduce their reliance on foreign labor. Plantation and Commodities Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani told the Dewan Rakyat on Monday that the technology could help ease mill operations, including maintenance work. The minister noted that during a visit to a palm oil mill in Kuala Kangsar, Perak last November, he was told that the operator successfully improved the factory's efficiency in crude palm oil (CPO) processing through AI adoption.
Satu kilang yang mempunyai kapasiti hanya 45 metrik tan satu jam. Dia menggunakan AI, apa yang berlaku? Dia dapat mengurangkan kos untuk memproses ini sebanyak, iaitu dia dapat saving daripada oil losses dan juga maintenance yang kurang 1.6 juta, estimated about 1 year.
Additionally, the use of AI helped cut down on the number of foreign workers involved. He said by reducing dependence on migrant workers, local experts could be employed to monitor the technology, pointing out that it would be similar to a high-income job. Federal police will summon the landowners where 47 illegal e-waste processing plants were established for questioning. Bukit Aman Internal Security and Public Order Department Director Datuk Sri Azmi Abu Qasim said based on intelligence gathered, these factories were built on land that was either privately owned or designated as government reserve land. Azmi said authorities will work to identify the landowners in order to establish whether they were aware of activities taking place on their land. Regarding the possibility that the factories were financed by foreign entities, Azmi stressed that further investigation will be required to determine the identities of the individuals. He added that police will also collaborate with the Bukit Aman Anti-Money Laundering Division to trace the sources of funding used to establish the factories. On February 15th, a nationwide operation resulted in the seizure of an extraordinary 2.8 billion ringgit worth of illegal e-waste under op hazard. This figure surpassed the 1 billion ringgit seized throughout the entirety of 2024. Most arrests took place in Teluk Panglima Garang, Selangor and Perak, where 246 individuals were detained on the same day. Initial investigation revealed that the e-waste materials had been imported via sea routes. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, will soon summon several other people in connection with allegations of abuse of power and money laundering committed by ex-aides of former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob. In a statement on Monday, MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki said the investigation was still ongoing despite several arrests already having been made. He said those to be summoned as witnesses in the case include prominent figures. Azam, however, said at this point in time, the anti-graft body is unable to reveal the results of the findings, including the amount of cash seized. On Sunday, Azam confirmed the arrest of 4 people who served as aides to Ismail Sabri during his tenure as Prime Minister. He had said the 4 were arrested to facilitate a probe into possible corruption and money laundering. The arrests were made under the MACC Act 2019 and the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001. Kedah Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Muhammad Sanusi Muhammad Noor has been acquitted and discharged by the Shah Alam High Court from a sedition charge related to the 16th Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah. The judge delivered the ruling after the prosecution informed the court that the Attorney General's chambers had accepted Sanusi's representation. Sanusi was initially charged with making seditious remarks about Sultan Abdullah during a speech in Gombak in July 2023, where he commented on the appointment of the Selangor Menteri Besar and the formation of the unity government. On December 10th last year, the same court also acquitted him of another sedition charge related to the Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah. Malacca police have placed a 54-year-old man under a 1-week remand to assist investigations into the death of a mother of 3 at Taman Sri Mangga in Malim. Preliminary investigations revealed that the incident stemmed from a misunderstanding between the victim and the suspect, while the motive is suspected to be jealousy. According to Malacca Tengah District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Christopher Patit, a witness at the crime scene told investigation officers that a heated argument between the suspect and the victim was heard on Friday, but the individual did not suspect anything unusual at the time. The victim, a 52-year-old part-time singer, was found in a pool of blood by her female housemate at a rented room in the house on Sunday. The injured suspect was subsequently taken to hospital for treatment before the arrest was made. The sharp weapons allegedly used by the suspect have also been recovered. Police have opened an investigation under Section 302 of the Penal Code for murder. The Employees Provident Fund, EPF, is expected to declare its 2024 dividend payout this Saturday, according to a report which quoted a source from the fund. The EPF is expected to announce higher dividends for 2024, driven by strong investment performance. Analysts have predicted a payout of 6% for conventional savings and 5.6% for Sharia funds, supported by robust equity market performance and stable fixed income investments throughout the year. For 2023, EPF declared a dividend of 5.5% for conventional savings, up from 5.35% in 2022, with total distributions reaching 50.33 billion ringgit despite global economic uncertainties. Second Finance Minister Datuk Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan has hinted that EPF contributors can expect better returns for 2024 compared to 2023, citing the fund's strong financial performance last year. Malaysia is targeting a 5% increase in total trade this year from the 2.879 trillion ringgit recorded in 2024. Although the 5% target is lower than the 9% year-on-year growth recorded last year, the Investment, Trade and Industry Ministry maintains it still signifies economic growth. The 5% goal is subject to potential challenges in the year ahead, such as tariffs, trade wars, or other new measures imposed by foreign countries. The government is also aiming to finalize negotiations on a Malaysia-EU Free Trade Agreement, MUFTA, by next year. The rise in exports in sectors such as electrical and electronics, chemicals and chemical products, machinery, equipment and parts, as well as medical devices, is aligned with the government's targets in the new Industrial Master Plan 2030. The electrical and electronics sector saw a 4.47% increase in exports last year compared with 2023, followed by medical devices at 31.78%, machinery at 20.48%, and chemicals and chemical products at 2.95%. Indonesia on Monday launched a new sovereign wealth fund that will aim to manage state assets worth more than $900 billion. The fund was launched by its president, Prabowo Subianto, who is seeking to turbocharge growth in Southeast Asia's biggest economy. The recently inaugurated leader signed a document at the Presidential Palace in Jakarta, initiating the new fund known as Daya Anagata Nusantara, or Danantara, which is modeled on Singapore's investment arm, Temasek. According to local media, Danantara will take control of government holdings in state companies with an initial budget of $20 billion. Prabowo added that he will use the fund as an investment vehicle and to finance more than a dozen projects this year, including those on renewable energy and food production. JDT crowned champions. Action from the Super League after this breather.
Keadaan mayat ketika itu sudah membengkak, kembung, dapati dalam proses perebutan.
Dua mayat lelaki bertatu ditemui dalam dua bungkusan kanvas di kawasan Semak.
Memang tak ada kecederaan pada tubuh badan mayat.
Daripada Seksyen 302 iaitu pertuduhan bunuh ditukar seksyen kepada menyembunyikan mayat.
Tanyalah Ustaz minggu ini. Sabtu, puasa dengan ilmu. Ahad, amanah harta yatim. Isnin, Al-Quran I'tiraf Remaja. Selasa, ibadah bulan Ramadan. Rabu, At-Taubah membongkar sikap munafik. Khamis, Ramadan dan Salafus Saleh. Jumaat, Nur dan Muhammad. Tanyalah Ustaz, biar tahu jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9.
Tipu identiti untuk bekerja. Warga asing guna kad pengenalan palsu.
Jadi kau kerja pakai atas nama Zaini bin Anil. Nama kau sebenar apa? Asril.
Ratusan ringgit dibelanjakan. Sindiket pemalsuan MyCard diburu.
Bayar sama kawan dah?
300 saja bayar. Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
We're back with sports bowling, the 2025 Dubai Open. National bowler Muhammad Hafiz Zainuddin clinched his first international title of the season by winning the 11th edition of the tournament on Sunday. The 25-year-old topped the standings after 8 games with a total of 1,744 pinfalls. He managed to edge Bahrain's Ahmed Al-Mahri, who scored 1,731 points, while host nation bowler Hassan Al-Zabi finished third with 1,729 points. With the win, Hafiz took home a total cash prize of 60,000 ringgit along with a trophy. His latest victory follows his success in the Gen Z category at the Milo Storm International Junior All-Stars last December. Meanwhile, compatriot Muhammad Shazirul Shamsuddin finished in 5th place, rolling a total of 1,722 pins. Moving on to football, the Super League. Johor Darul Tazim JDT captured their 11th consecutive title in dominant fashion, beating Perak FC 2-0 at Sultan Ibrahim Stadium on Monday night. The Southern Tigers controlled the game throughout and managed to break the deadlock before half-time when Arif Aiman Muhammad Hanapi's pass was finished off by Spanish striker Jose Rodriguez in the 54th minute. Perak goalkeeper Muhammad Haziq Nazli deserved praise for denying several JDT attempts, but the hosts still managed to double their lead in the 64th minute through Jorge Obregon's penalty kick. The win set off celebrations in Iskandar Putri, with fireworks lighting up the night sky as JDT finished the season unbeaten with 58 points from 20 matches. Still on football, the German Bundesliga. Serge Gnabry grabbed a late goal as Bayern Munich capped a dominant 4-0 win over third-place Eintracht Frankfurt, a victory that consolidated their lead in the standings on Sunday. The Bavarians dominated the proceedings and duly took the lead through Michael Olise just before the break. Hiroki Ito doubled their lead in the 61st minute when the Japanese centre-back slotted home from a corner, marking his first goal for Bayern. Bayern kept up the pressure and Jamal Musiala found the back of the net in the 83rd minute, charging forward and finishing from a solo effort before substitute Gnabry sealed the 4-0 win for the league leaders in stoppage time with a clever finish. With the win, Bayern maintains its spot atop the table with 58 points, 8 ahead of second-placed and reigning champions Bayer Leverkusen. Merz faces hard road to government after German election win. The details when we come back.
Sihat tapi sedap. Bersama Chef Anis Nabila, tak perlu pilih. Boleh dapat dua-dua sekali.
I nak share resepi tu, tapi yang sihat. Kita menggunakan minyak zaitun dan kita masak dalam air fryer.
Cakap je nak resepi apa. Oriental, Western, dessert, semuanya ada. Resepi hebat, rasa nikmat, badan sihat dengan menu sihat Ramadan. Setiap Sabtu 12.30 tengah hari. Indahkan memori Ramadan di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Yana, kalau anak mengamuk, apa perlu buat? Ibu bapa perlu bijak mengawalnya. Sedap kan kalau dapat makan sup? Sup ayam, sup daging, sup giabok. Seronoknya tengok orang buat lawak. Tapi kalau lawak tu tak bertempat, boleh timbul masalah tau. Aduh, sakit gigi. Sakit gigi memang sakit. Jangan buat main, boleh mengancam nyawa tau. Kalau balik rumah dengar suara dia je lah. Macam mana kalau dapat pasangan yang riuh sekampung? Semuanya di WHI TV3 dan stream di Tonton.
Allah berfirman, Inna nahnu nazzalna zik wa inna lahu lahafizun. Yang mana Allah sebut dalam ayat ini, kami turunkan az-zikr iaitu Al-Quran dan kamilah yang akan memelihara dan menjaganya. Kita kena tahu bahawa Al-Quran bukan saja sebuah kitab ibadah, tetapi dia merupakan satu rujukan yang sangat lengkap. Berapa ramai hari ini manusia yang meninggalkan Al-Quran.
Tipu identiti untuk bekerja. Warga asing guna kad pengenalan palsu.
Jadi kau kerja pakai atas nama Zaini bin Anil. Nama kau sebenar apa? Asril.
Ratusan ringgit dibelanjakan. Sindiket pemalsuan MyCard diburu.
Bayar sama kawan dah?
300 saja bayar. Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. The Zionist regime intensified its assault on the occupied West Bank on Sunday, deploying several tanks, raiding homes and destroying roads as well as buildings in Jenin. According to its mayor, about 120 homes were completely destroyed in the Jenin refugee camp, with dozens of other homes and structures partially destroyed in the ongoing Israeli military offensive that started 35 days ago. Following this, the Palestinian Foreign Ministry called the Zionist actions a dangerous escalation of the situation in the West Bank and urged the international community to intervene in what it termed Israel's illegal aggression. Meanwhile, Hamas official Bassem Naim stressed it is clear that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is intentionally sabotaging the Gaza ceasefire deal. He added that the group will not engage in further ceasefire talks until Israel frees the 620 Palestinians who were supposed to be released on Saturday. German conservatives under Friedrich Merz vowed on Monday to quickly form a government after winning a national election, but faced tricky coalition talks and the prospect of an obstructive parliament after far-right and far-left parties surged. Merz faces lengthy coalition negotiations after the far-right Alternative for Germany, AfD, surged to a historic second place in a fractured vote, following the collapse of Chancellor Olaf Scholz's unloved three-way alliance. Merz's conservative bloc came in first place on 28.6%, ahead of the AfD on 20.8%. Mainstream parties, however, rule out working with the AfD, meaning Merz will have to negotiate with Scholz's center-left Social Democrats, SPD, to form a coalition. The talks are likely to take months following a bruising campaign that highlighted policy differences. Key U.S. departments within the Trump administration have told staff not to comply with a Saturday email from Elon Musk's cost-cutting initiative, asking what they accomplished in the past week. The FBI, State Department, and Pentagon were among agencies that instructed employees not to answer the message on Sunday. Other department heads advised staff to comply, while some told workers to wait for further guidance before responding. In a copy of the email, federal employees were asked to respond, explaining their accomplishments from the past week in 5 bullet points without disclosing classified information. Musk posted on X that employees who failed to respond by Monday at midnight would be treated as having resigned. So far, President Donald Trump has yet to comment on the email. The conflicting guidance caused confusion for hundreds of thousands of government bureaucrats as Musk's Department of Government Efficiency Task Force leads an outside effort to aggressively reduce government spending. Japan will face more heavy snow after a 2-week whiteout, with authorities warning people to be wary of avalanches and icy roads. The Japan Meteorological Agency said on Monday more snowfall is expected in Niigata, Ishikawa, and Nagano prefectures, as well as in some western regions, including Hiroshima and Shimane prefectures. By 10 a.m. local time, the northern Aomori city recorded 5 meters of snow, Niigata's Uonuma recorded 3.81 meters, and Tadami in Fukushima Prefecture recorded 3.13 meters. The agency also warned people to stay vigilant of avalanches, icy roads, and frozen water pipes in those areas. The country's regions facing the Sea of Japan experience heavy snowfall every year and are home to many ski resorts. However, several cities have seen record snowfall this month, causing traffic disruptions and fatalities. Bangladeshi students who were at the forefront of last year's protests that ousted then Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina are set to launch a political party this week. Two sources with direct knowledge of the development said on Monday that the Students Against Discrimination (SAD) group is finalizing plans to launch the new party during an event likely on Wednesday. The student leader and advisor to the interim government that took charge of Bangladesh after Hasina's exit, Nahid Islam, is expected to lead the party as convener. Islam, a key advocate for student interests in Bangladesh's interim government under Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus since August 2024, is set to resign to lead the new political party. The SAD group spearheaded the protests that began as a student-led movement against public sector job quotas, but quickly morphed into a broader nationwide uprising that forced Hasina to flee to India as the unrest peaked in early August. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at visuals of the British Siberian Husky Dog Championship, where racers compete in different classes in England's Thetford Forest. With that, I'm Natasha. Thank you for watching and stay safe.